just kind of a lot going on with the 2 losses that so easily could have won and had control of in both games. And to have played, we're over halfway through the season and, only trailed for 2.5 minutes of any game, of all games combined. So that part was a lot to deal with, because very easily could be undefeated or certainly with 1 loss. So I think it was good a little bit for everybody to get a little break.
Yeah, the Ole Miss Rebels feeling rested and rejuvenated after a much-needed bye week. All attention is now on Oklahoma this Saturday, and what is a must-win game for the Rebs if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. To get prepared for that game, we want to welcome to the 24th floor for the first time, Steven Willis, host of LockedOn Ole Miss. Steven, thanks so much for taking the time. You heard Coach Kiffin there mention the time off was good for the Rebels to get their focus readjusted. What do you think the mindset is coming out of that bye? Obviously, out of the LSU game, you got to take on Oklahoma this week.
I think it was a double-edged sword. You have a situation where the team needed the bye because they just played 7 consecutive games. But after you lose a game like that LSU game, you just want to get back on the field and get that taste out of your mouth. The fan base has been going, gnashing their teeth a little bit for about a week and a half, and everybody is ready to kick off this game, and I'm sure the players are no different.
100%. I think with any of these players, anytime you get off if you come off a win, really, we talk to players all the time. They want to go back and play either way. But when you come off a loss, you are starving. You are really hungry. And so it'll be interesting to see how efficient they are when they come back and are ready to get back on the field. Rachel, what do you think?
Yeah, well, they've had to have that feeling for like 2 weeks now. And for it to be such a close loss as well, it's not like, oh, we got blown out, there's so much we have to clean up. It's like, no, we lost in overtime. We had the lead heading into the 4th quarter, and we blew it. We couldn't get it done. So that's been sitting with them. For my mind, they come out fresh and raring to go against Oklahoma on Saturday, especially because they know they have to win this game if they want to keep their chance of going to the playoffs alive.
Well, Lane Kiffin has been to his Taylor Swift concert. He's rested and rejuvenated. But yeah, I agree. I think Jackson Dart is the most anxious man in the tri-state area right now. He just wants to go out there and light up Oklahoma. Overall, that's all they need to do is just go out there, beat Oklahoma. I would say they need to beat Oklahoma by a couple touchdowns based off of what we've seen from Oklahoma this year. They're reeling at the same time. So, yeah, just get some of that confidence back.
Steven, that hasn't necessarily been your opinion, though. You don't care about the margin. You just want the W.
No, I think it's a situation where if Ole Miss wins out, they're going to make the playoffs. So style points don't really matter. Now, it would probably help everybody to have a nice little performance and easily cover the game. I think Ole Miss is favored by 20-something points or 20.5 points on FanDuel. But it's a situation to where the margin of victory is not really going to matter because if you win the game, you're going to move a little bit up the polls. If you win against Arkansas, you're going to move a little up the polls, and it's going to set up that Georgia game to where if you win, you have a chance to go majorly up the polls, and if you lose, it doesn't really matter anyway. So I just think win the game, and you're going to be all right. Now, that said, Lane Kiffin's offense for 3 weeks have struggled. They've sputtered, and I know that probably doesn't sit well with Lane Kiffin. And them having a bye week and all of this bad taste in their mouth, I'm expecting the offense to click a little bit against Oklahoma.
Yeah, anytime you go into Death Valley, is obviously one of the toughest places to play, toughest places to move the ball. Let's get into the Oklahoma win. You already mentioned they just need to win the game. What is your biggest key for Ole Miss to get the win this week?
I think the major key in the ball game is going to be on the line of scrimmage. Ole Miss's defensive line versus Oklahoma's offensive line. Ole Miss is in the top 10 in the NCAA in sacks, scoring defense, and tackles for loss. And Oklahoma is in the south of 100 in all of those, including next to last, I think, in sacks allowed. I think if Oklahoma has trouble blocking the front from Ole Miss, it's going to be a very long day from the Sooners. And on the other side, if Oklahoma is able to slow that down a little bit and Joe John Finley can make their offensive line woes a little bit easier with quick passes and things like that, I think if you can neutralize that defensive line, it can be a little bit closer than you expect. But I do think this game is going to be determined completely, utterly on that defensive line from Ole Miss, because if they can game wreck this, it might be over in the first or second quarter. I mean, there's nothing more discouraging than going up there and not being able to block the defensive line. I know people that have followed Memphis. I know people that have followed Ole Miss. And in the past, whenever you played these really great teams, it is so discouraging whenever the ball is snapped and you just don't have hope from the beginning.
Certainly going to have to neutralize the defensive line. You make a great point. The only way, the best way really you can do it is with the quick passing game. We're going to see them try to get it out to the perimeter so you're not having to deal with a J.J. Pegues, an Ivy, a Princely Umanmielen. All those guys have been game wreckers. Walter Nolan there in the middle. And the more they're able to get to the perimeter, I think we're going to see the Oklahoma offense be able to move the ball if they're going to be able to move the ball.
I was going to say, Steven, I wanted to get your opinion. Obviously, the offense potentially could look a little different. They fired their offense coordinator and play caller, a new play caller coming in. And then on top of that, also quarterback changes. What are your thoughts on the offense of Oklahoma and what they'll do?
I think this is interesting because Joe John Finley obviously has a history at Ole Miss. He came with Jeff Lebby to Ole Miss in 2020, then went up to Oklahoma. Jeff Lebby went up there as well. And Joe John Finley kind of is from that Jeff Lebby school and doing things that way. Seth Luttrell was more of an air raid type coach. And the air raid, you're going to see the lack of physicalness running the football. Oklahoma running for 112 yards a game, like 114th in the NCAA. I think Joe John Finley is going to reestablish that physical running game that is the style of a Jeff Lebby in that style of offense. Now, it might not work against this Ole Miss defense, but I do think this is a culture give for the later games in the season as Oklahoma tries to make a push for a bowl game. But as it sits, I think this is going to help the offense, but I don't know if it's going to help it that much this week, if that makes sense.
Yeah, a lot to clean up with just 1 week with John Finley, being the offensive coordinator. You can't fix the whole world in a day. You can't flip a whole playbook in a day. So, or in a week, it'll be interesting to see how much of what he's able to bring over, if anything, changes wise for the Oklahoma offense. Steven, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on this one. Number 18, Ole Miss hosting Oklahoma this Saturday at Vaught Hemingway Stadium, and what's going to be a must-win for the Rebels.